Alright, let's warm up with a mental exercise. I'm gonna say a word. You guys say the first thing that comes into your mind. Alright. Support. That's right, the worst class in Battlefield. I would have also accepted Child, Brawl, or that fucker that always feeds bottom lane. So any of those were acceptable answers. What's going on, guys? My name is Pone. If you guys enjoy Battlefield, be sure to subscribe, and let's set a goal of hitting 500 likes on this video. That would be a great thing. I heavily appreciate the support you've been giving us, so let's aim for that. So, support. Oh, man. I've always wanted, you know, support to succeed. He's the underdog, right? He's the stepchild of the Battlefield classes. Never loved as much as the rest. Never paid attention to. It's sad, really, because you want it to be good, but it's just never really there. And the major issue, and the biggest hurdle they've always come across, is the guns were never just as acceptable or as dominant as the rest of the competitors. Up until now, the assault weapons that have been available, the assault rifles and everything, fully automatic weapons, are far more reliable. Man, of course you have the suppression feature, the large mag capacity, but it's just not going to win the heads-up gunfights against those others. And let's face it, the last few Battlefields, the kit has not even been acceptable either. And this is where we're at a crossroads. Now, they've actually done what I consider to be the hardest thing to do, and brought support weapons up to par. Part of this has to do with the fact that we're dealing with World War I. There's no longer fully automatic assault rifles. We now have semi-automatic spammable rifles. We have SMGs, which aren't that great and reliable at medium range, thus enter in the LMGs, where they have an area that they can perform well in, especially that MG15. My god, that was probably the third best gun in the game, if not maybe the second best in the beta, and even the other ones were pretty acceptable. You won your occasional SMG fight, you won your semi-auto fights. It happened. All the guns, for the most part, with a few little sneaky devils, were really on par with each other, and it's a very exciting thing to admit. So the fact that they've got that out of the way is a good thing. So now all they have to do is make the kit worth a damn. Let's go down the list. Let's talk about medics. These guys are the infantry player choice. These are the guys that keep your team alive, and they're very important because, let's face it, we're fighting a war. You're gonna get injured, so let me hook you up with some band-aids and mommy kisses. These guys are responsible for reviving you if down, and of course healing you in the heat of the moment. Very essential, needed every time you spawn. Move on over. We're talking about the assault class. These are the heavy hitters. These are the ones that are capable of taking out the tanks. These guys have a lot of pressure on them to take down the things that can easily wipe out entire squads. So they have a very important role in the game. They're the heavy hitters. Then we're going to talk about the scouts. Now, with different changes to the spotting aspects, things becoming a little harder. The sound maybe not the best in the world right now. And of course, not showing up when you fire on the minimap is a big change. Even more important for the scouts to be that role that identifies targets either via spotting from a distance or using that flare gun. They're even more essential now than they have ever been in a different Battlefield. And because of this, super important role. Now, enter in the support class. They give ammo. Yep, that's their trick. That's what they do. Now, the catch here is, as essential as that may seem, you rarely run out of ammo. And it generally happens to only two types of players. One, the conservative player, the one that sits in the back as a scout and snipes the whole time until they eventually run out of ammo because nobody's really ever putting pressure on them. And then at that point, probably no one's going to be around you to give you ammo in the first place. The second guy is the guy that's very talented, can generally go on a nasty tear, kill 10 dudes, and completely runs out of ammo. But if the person's that talented, they could also just pick up a gun from one of their victims and run about. So you really don't even need an ammo class in this game. It's cool when you get the resupplies, but it's almost never needed. So now we have a Battlefield where most of the guns and classes are equal to each other. You can use any gun and kill any other class if you're a skilled and talented enough player, which is great. We finally have some sort of harmony across the classes. But here's the kicker. The other kits are far more essential and valuable than the support one, because right now we have ammo, we have the only explosive device, which is anti-infantry, which is cool. It's got AoE, it works as an alarm system, but it's not overpowered like claymores have been in the past, because you can just drop them and walk away. You're technically not earning kills. So I'm glad that they don't just directly kill anybody anymore. But they're still semi-useful, but again, only against infantry. So right now, we don't have an answer to immediate threats or any anti-tank options. Every other class in the game does. You have K-bullets with Scout. You have the grenades, the HE grenades from the medic, and all those options that we know from the assault class. So what the hell? Where's the love for this guy, right? So this is what's absurd. I don't know if they need some kind of mines. I thought that with the addition of horses and other things, Caltrops or something would have been absolutely incredible. During this era, I mean, even way back in old medieval times, I believe, they started using these because these were a deterrent for horses and everything like that, and with some of the cars having wheels, and maybe even doing slight damage to the tracks of the tanks. This could be very essential. This could be a support role, and they'd be a lot harder to spot than something like those big-ass honking mines that we have, and they would be useful. You'd be able to protect your team from the cavalry, which is really strong right now, and there's not really a counter to that right now. It's very hard to hit those with anti-tank mines. You generally have to shoot the guy off of it, and that's not always as easy as it sounds. So having something that actually is a counter to horses would be an absolutely phenomenal thing, but is also effective against other types of armor out there. So I'm really happy about that. One thing worth noting that a lot of people did not pick up on, these LMGs, more importantly the MG15 with that 200 round mag, was phenomenal against aircraft. This is big because artillery didn't last long, tanks aren't that valuable. With the anti-tank cannon, you have to lay prone, you can't look straight up. I mean, there's a really big difference between this battlefield and the rest. We don't have stingers and anti-aircraft options for infantry anymore, and artillery, like I said, doesn't last very long. The only other thing to take down aircraft confidently is another aircraft. K-bullets don't do near enough with the repair system and everything in play. The other guns can do a bit of damage if it comes by and does a sweep, but you're not going to get enough into it, and of course getting caught on reloads is a drag, and by the time you do have another mag ready, it's probably well out of range. So this is where the LMGs come into play. I have done some significant and heavy damage, so if you had one or two support guys focusing down a plane, it should be one sweep and it's over. I mean, it did some good damage to bombers even, so I really liked it. That's the one thing that separates this class from the rest, and though it's not essential to its kit, it's important to know and notice. So if you did not pick up on this during the beta, definitely utilize this in the full release. So what do you personally think the support class needs? Leave a comment down below, let me know, because I'm kind of confused. I think the addition of caltrops would be incredible to the game. Some sort of mines transferred over to this class would be useful. I don't know how I feel. I just know the kit needs to be improved on because we actually have good weapons for once, and it's going to break my heart to know that that'll go to waste if they don't get the kit aligned like it needs to. We know mortars are coming. We don't know how good they're going to be, if they're going to be a disappointment or not, and of course it's not an instant answer to anti-tank issues. There's nothing we can do on the fly to help us, so even then, I don't think that's the proper call. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Of course, be sure to subscribe if you're new here. I'll catch you with a scout video coming soon.